Hi, and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, we'll explore the ocean system in D5 and show you how it automatically generates realistic coastlines and waves for your scene. Let's dive in. Before we start using it, let's briefly understand how it's structured. Once we add an ocean, an infinite ocean surface will appear in the scene. At the same time, coastlines are automatically generated around D5's built-in terrain. For imported objects, we can also manually set coastlines around them. Within the coastline area, you'll see nearshore waves and foam, and caustics will appear automatically as well. At the moment, the coastline can only be generated within an approximately 5 by 5 kilometers area. Alright, once we understand this structure, we can start working with it. Main buildings and terrain were set up in advance. Alright, now we're ready to start working with the ocean. You'll find the ocean tool in the Site menu. Once you click it, a dynamic ocean will appear in the scene. The ocean has two main control panels, surface and coastline, which matches the structure we just talked about. Surface mainly controls the large-scale waves and the overall ocean material. First, we'll adjust the height. As we increase this value, you can see the entire sea level rise. Here, we just find a height that works well with the hotel's terrain. And that's good. The second parameter is wave scale, which actually affects the width of the waves. If we slowly increase this value, you'll see the waves becoming wider. Wave height is pretty straightforward. It controls the vertical height of the waves. If we raise this value and combine it with speed, we can simulate rough, stormy seas. But for this scene, we want a calm ocean, so these values won't be set too high. Next is the ocean surface material. In reality, ocean color has a lot of depth variation. Areas with different depths appear as different colors. That's why in the ocean material panel, we provide two color controls, absorption and scatter. Absorption can be understood as the surface color of the ocean. Here, we'll use a lighter blue to keep it clear and fresh. Scatter represents the color of light after it scatters inside the water. Since seawater usually contains particles, this color is typically deeper than the surface color. So here, we'll set it to a darker blue. Depth affects the transparency of the water. For example, in this image, you can see an underwater cliff. That area looks much heavier and darker compared to the shallow beach. In this scene, we want the ocean overall to feel deeper in color, so we'll increase the depth a bit. Of course, you can adjust this based on your own needs. Alright, that covers the large-scale ocean surface. Now let's move on to the coastline. The coastline panel has three parts: general, material, and coastline anchor. Let's start with the coastline anchor. For terrain created using D5's built-in terrain tools, coastlines are generated automatically. For other objects, we need to manually add them as coastline anchors so that coastlines can be generated around them. In this scene, after clicking the plus button, we can select the imported hotel model from the scene. A coastline appears along the edge of the terrain. The coastline updates automatically. For example, if we go back to the ocean surface panel and adjust the ocean height, you'll see the coastline update accordingly. Once the coastline is in place, let's adjust the general settings. One thing to note here is that size refers to the width of the wave area inside the coastline, not the overall coastline size. As mentioned earlier, the coastline area itself is currently fixed. For example, if I increase the size to 80, you can see the wave area become much wider. If I lower it to 40, the difference is very clear. Nearshore wave speed is also easy to understand. Since we want gentle waves here, we'll keep the speed relatively low. Next is nearshore wave width. The larger this value is, the closer the waves are to each other, creating a denser wave pattern along the shore. This parameter is closely related to the size setting, and they influence each other, so just keep that in mind while adjusting. The coastline area also has its own watercolor settings. Here, we'll set both colors first. Our ocean system includes automatic watercolor blending. The closer the ocean's surface is to the ground, the more it blends toward the coastline color. The farther away it is, the more it resembles the ocean's surface color. When foam is enabled, you'll see 4 options. Nearshore foam intensity controls how visible the foam is along the shoreline. A higher value makes the foam denser and more defined, while a lower value makes it softer and more transparent. Offshore foam intensity adjusts how noticeable the foam appears farther out on the water. Just like before, higher values create a stronger foam effect, and lower values make it more subtle. Offshore foam size controls the size and distribution density of the foam in the distance. Offshore foam offset lets you adjust the foam's position on the water surface. By changing the X and Y values, you can move the foam horizontally and forward or backward. All of these parameters can be fine-tuned based on your project's scale, helping you achieve the ideal foam effect for your scene. That completes our tutorial. Thanks for watching.